People can be afraid to say it because, they don't want Donald Trump to go after them and so on. But it is what it is. Like, are we not going to see what's right in front of our faces?
Pulitzer Prize for the first reporter that just says, what the are you talking about? Mention you referred to Trump's decline, which, I was able to interject to the Fox audience.
That was a thing of beauty, by the way. I mean, that's why I had to have you on my show. It was glorious. And it was an important moment to me, not to like puff you up or anything, but it was an important moment to me because I think part of the reason why we're in so much trouble as a country right now is that you have so many people like stuck in this Fox information silo, and they are just not hearing from the outside world. I had this great person, Juliet Jeske from Decoding Fox News. She's on Substack, a lot of other socials.
Great.
And she breaks down, the Epstein coverage. And I had her on my show on Friday, and she was showing this line graph. Almost zero mentions of Jeffrey Epstein all week long last week, even when they were having these incredible historic votes and all of this stuff.
Yeah. It's
not penetrating. And so when you went on there and did that to Hannity, it was really an important moment, I thought, because, gosh darn it, what they're doing to this, I used to call them I can't say it because you're on terrestrial radio, the BS factory.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And, it's a little more dangerous than that now.
Well, Jim, I guess my point is, aren't you struck by that we are here in this nightmare in this country because of the media coverage of quote unquote Joe Biden's decline, who, by the way, I just saw him yesterday looking great. Didn't Jake Tapper tell us he was going to be in a wheelchair by now? And, and I mean, and I feel like
where are the books on Trump?
Right.
And that's what I'm saying, Jim, is do we all have eyes and ears? You can see his decline, like physically, mentally. Like, I feel like it's the biggest story that seems to be some third rail.
He was doing this speech in front of some business group last week where he was talking about, water pressure. And he was talking, I'm not kidding. Go back and look at this video, the drip, drip. He calls it the drip, drip.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's the ramblings of somebody who is obviously in decline. And, people can be afraid to say it because, they don't want Donald Trump to go after them and so on. But it is what it is. Like, are we not going to see what's right in front of our faces?
Pulitzer Prize for the first reporter that just says, what the are you talking about?
Yes, basically. That's it. And it's more than grandpa needs a cookie. You know what I mean? Like, and the keys need to be taken away. It's a lot more serious than that.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's got the codes, as they say.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
We can't have the guy with the weave holding on to the codes.
Oh my God. I got to tell you, Jim, you are doing amazing work. I feel like all the real journalists have gone to Substack. I mean, the state of corporate media is pathetic, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about it anymore.
And honestly, I think part of this is the fault of corporate media. You know what I mean? I would like to say, it's because I came there and, this person came there and so on. Part of this is because, the American people are sitting at home and they're watching big name networks cut multi-million-dollar checks to Donald Trump's presidential library, whatever that's going to look like. And they're saying, wait a minute, how is it possible for these networks to hold his feet to the fire? And so they're going to go to places like independent media. So this is partly their doing. As my mother would say, you make your bed, you lie in it, So
I think my mother said you buttered your bread, now you lie in it. But she was confused, Jim. You said when I took the plunge into independent media, I had just delivered this message: don't give in to the lies, don't give in to fear, hold on to the truth and hope. And that's what you do for us every day when we watch you. We're like, I'm not taking crazy pills. I mean, I miss you so much in the White House. A little part of your soul must die every day when you watch this White House press corps with, first of all, these MAGA people asking, not even, they're just North Korea suck-up questions. They're not even questions, right?
Yeah, I mean, the other day when Mary Bruce at ABC asked about Jamal Khashoggi, I thought, okay, that's what I'm talking about right there. But when Trump starts going after her and says, you're a terrible person, you're fake news and all that sort of thing, another reporter should chime in and say, but Mr. President, what about her question? What about what she was asking you? Can you give us an answer? When he says, things happen about a Washington Post journalist being, bone sawed to death. I mean, that is pretty vile. I mean, I thought that was a pretty vile moment, even for him. And, some of this involves, individual reporters stepping up, but it also takes collective action. I mean, the Associated Press is in court today trying to get Trump to back off of this thing where they blocked the AP, the Associated Press, from going into the White House Oval Office and to certain, availabilities that he has and so on, because they won't call the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. It's insane. It's dystopian. It's 1984 that they have to even go to court over this.
And Jim, we've said the same thing every day you just said, is where the other reporters need to, in the moment, not later, stand up for their colleagues or ask the question that they asked that he won't answer. I mean, when you're standing there and someone says "quiet, piggy" to a female reporter, we've just normalized this to such a degree. In the moment, you need to go. That's not okay, right? No,
I know. And had I been on Air Force One when he said that, maybe they would have opened up the door and said, "Here's your parachute. Good luck." But I would have said, that is not appropriate. You should not refer to my colleague as piggy.
Yeah.
Like, somebody in that room or in that cabin, whatever, needs to say, Mr. President, you can't do that. Like, that's wrong. And part of the problem is we've allowed this situation to emerge. And some of this goes back to corporate ownership of media companies and so on, where he has leverage over news organizations. And that is not a democracy. That is not freedom of the press. If he can, torpedo a merger and acquisition deal with such and such company, if their White House correspondent is being a pain in the then that's not, what are we doing here, folks?
Yeah.
And so I think that's part of the reason why folks are gravitating towards independent media. They're saying these guys are somewhat compromised. The individual reporters I have a lot of respect for. But the executives and the companies who run these news organizations need to look in the mirror and ask, is this how I want to be remembered?
Yeah.
Is this how I want to go down? As sucking up to this guy. Come on.
Bending the knee and settling these ridiculous lawsuits that would be so easily won.
Stephanie, it's great to see you. This is a long time coming. I'm so glad that we're able to chat about this. And when I saw this moment that you had with Sean Hannity the other night, I fell out of my chair laughing, and I don't know if I've stopped laughing because you busted him. So good. How are you, by the way? Great to see you.
What? I'm having a little champagne because, it's Friday, and, it's not every week that you kick Sean Hannity's ass, Jim. And
thank goodness.
And that Fox News is dumb enough to let you come on in the middle of the Epstein bombshell emails, right?
And they had not been, just to go back to what kudos on having champagne at 1:30 in the afternoon in LA.
Oh.
This is why I should probably move to LA or at least get a place out there. But
I wish we were doing shots together. It's, what, I do morning
radio.
Do it. It's 5:00 somewhere.
Absolutely. And it's almost 5:00 here, but no, I mean, the thing that, and we should preface this by saying Fox was just ignoring these bombshells that had come out. What was it, Wednesday morning? And then I don't know why. So the Hannity people call you and they say, "Hey, Stephanie, we'd love to have you come on the show tonight and talk about Joe Biden being senile or something." Is that what was happening?
No, Jim, it was more ridiculous than that. So I've been frenemies with Sean Hannity for 30 years from radio.
Okay.
And so, his radio producer called me first. I went on his radio show. Jim, this game.
Yeah.
I did a ridiculous joke photo. I just did a Prop 50 event out here with Jasmine Crockett canvassing for Prop 50. So I did a funny joke photo of me kissing her feet because I love her.
Yeah,
oh my
she's
God.
Awesome. Yeah.
I don't know if I can swear on this show, Jim, but
you can, please.
MAGA lost their shit. I don't know if you saw. Twitter exploded. White liberal lady, black lady feet.
Oh no.
New York Post, Daily Caller. And so that's how this all happened. Is I was supposed to be the liberal punching bag, Jim. Like, look at this stupid liberal lady. And so, so after I did the radio show, someone's like, "Come on the TV show." I'm like, okay. And that was supposed to be the subject. Is what were you thinking? Oh my God! And
how could you do that? Yeah.
And as you probably saw, I said, what's interesting about this whole story is that Trump is all over the Epstein files, and
I love it.
And that's
let's do this.
Of Epstein that day.
It's incredible to me. All right, let's play the footage because for folks who have not seen this, or if you just want to relive the moment, it's glorious. Let's watch.
I do have a question. I tried to get an answer out of you on radio. Okay. The question is, when did you notice Joe Biden's cognitive decline? And don't change the subject and deflect. When did you really notice it?
Well, I think it was through all of the times that Donald Trump has fallen asleep in public and talked about, magnets getting wet in the last few,
Oh my gosh.
My mom had dementia, so I recognize it.
Stephanie, this is not, it's a very good deflection. You're a professional.
You know what else
talk
is
shows.
great
You're
about
very good.
Biden's decline is that Trump is all over the Epstein files, and I'm wondering if they're going to release those. Are you covering that tonight?
Not really, because the woman that apparently they're talking about is the one that said he was a gentleman and never did anything wrong. And the person that had a grudge was the guy that got thrown out of Mar-a-Lago 25 years ago. And
you got him.
When you get thrown out of a club in Palm Beach, Florida, that's kind of a big deal. And it's very humiliating and embarrassing. And he was a convicted pedophile.
Oh, gosh.
So I'm not exactly...
He got really riled up there.
Trump was mad that he was stealing his girls, but yeah.
Well, kudos to you.
Thank you, honey. Did you like the Scooby-Doo at the end? What now?
Yeah.
No one ever said that Trump raped all 1,000 girls, Jim.
Yeah.
Just FYI. And I mean, we all know that he had, the emails reveal, he had Thanksgiving with Epstein in 2017. So
yeah, what's that all about?
He didn't throw him out of Mar-a-Lago. And, obviously, like, it was over a business dispute or something else. And I'm like, I'm sorry, because he stole your girls that you were sex trafficking. And
and he's repeatedly lied about it. We were just showing this a few moments ago with Vicky Ward. We were showing how Caroline Levitt said that Trump kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago for being a pedophile. And then Trump was asked in 2019, did you know what Epstein was up to? No, I didn't know anything. I didn't, it wasn't me. It was the one-armed man, and it's, I just, anyway, but the thing that is so glorious about what you did there is it exposed what goes on at Fox. And I've reported on this for many years and talked about this for many years. They act in cahoots with the Trump people and the Trump administration. And they obviously made it very clear to Fox that they didn't want to see any coverage. And so there was no coverage until you brought it up, basically.
Jim, I got to tell you, so I'm sitting in the chair, as you do in TV. So I'm sitting in the chair. And first of all, the guy at Fox News, in New York is like, I love your show. I'm like, don't say that. You're going to get fired. But before me, Jim, as I'm sitting in the chair, this is like, they don't need to send me to El Salvador. This would be liberal torture. I'm sitting in the chair. First is Mike Johnson. Then it's Stephen Miller. And then Kash Patel, and then me. So I'm forced to sit here and listen to this solid wall of lies. And
wow.
So,
and were any of those guys asked about Epstein?
No, of course not. Like, so.
And he had Kash Patel on.
Yeah, they thought they were having me on for a gotcha. Like, oh my God, you kissed the black lady's feet. It ended up being like a commercial for Jasmine Crockett.
Yeah.
It was
kidding.
Fantastic. They played Charlemagne the God saying she's, should be the voice of the Democratic Party. That's why people are resonating, to her. Anyway, Jim, it was hilarious because I and my mom did have dementia, and Trump obviously has a lot going on that they, of course, they don't cover on Fox News.
Well, and the other thing too is, maybe we should talk about this, is Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly is blowing up, and not in a good way right now. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
She was on her show she was making this argument that maybe it wasn't pedophilia because we're talking about 15-year-olds and not 8-year-olds. And now she is like, what the hell? People are just saying, what is wrong with you? Or is your brain broke? But to me, it's like, this is what happens when you're in a cult. When you're in a cult, you explain away the actions of the dear leader.
Right. And it's like they're getting us ready for what we're going to find out, that we all know we're going to find out that, it's not so bad. It's not really rape. Jim, it reminds me of that whole debate about what's a legitimate rape, and women have a way of shutting it down if it's a legit.
Right.
And this is a woman who has a 15-year-old daughter is saying it's not really rape. If it's different than 5, really? Would you be okay if your 15-year-old daughter, it's
I would want to kill
Jim.
the person. I'll just say right now, that's what I would want to do. That I would, to
most
me,
normal people.
Most normal people would, that's their reaction. If you have kids, this is a 15-year-old is a kid. I don't know how she could come to that conclusion. We were playing the video yesterday. I don't know if we can play it again, but I mean, the way she just kind of goes through these verbal gymnastics, these mental gymnastics, it says to me that Megyn has sold her soul. She's not like it's there. The soul has left the body.
Jim, it's why I've always been such a huge fan of yours, and why, you know, most people doing the most important work now are on Substack, because you know, the mainstream media is, you know, has bent the knee, kissed the ring, and I'm telling you, Jim, someday we're gonna look at how the mainstream media got a child rapist into the Oval Office. Do I need to say allegedly?
We'll say alleged, and he has said repeatedly he didn't do anything wrong, but he also said that he didn't know what Epstein was up to, and that clearly is not the case. And so, you know, there's a lot of lies, you know, telling lies to cover up other lies. But I mean, you know, I think you're right about the mainstream media, and I call it the corporate media, the legacy media. And to me, you know, when they have all of these merger and acquisition deals, you've been in the entertainment and talk industry for a long time, and you're a legend out there in California and all across the country, and people love you. But I mean, you know this all too well. When there's a company, we can talk about Megyn in a second, but when there's a company involved in charge of these companies, in charge of these news outlets, it bends the way the coverage is. It just is.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I don't mean to be rude, but it was a little sexually exciting to me how you used to come after Donald Trump, because you were just doing, and I'm gay, but oh my God.
I'm happy to help in any way possible, you know.
Thank you, Jim. And
I'm a giver.
You were doing what journalists were supposed to do. You know, it's just,
you got to hold their feet to the fire. That's what the public expects, and that's why these companies are all in the shitter right now, because you know, the public is like, screw it, I'm going to go on Substack or YouTube and find other places and go. They just don't want to listen to the news media and not do their jobs. But we got the Megyn thing queued up. Let's watch this and talk about it, and then I'll let you go on your way. I've taken up so much of your time, but let's watch this real fast.
know virtually everything. Not everything, but virtually everything. And this person has told me from the start, years and years ago, that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile. This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls. And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts. That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types that could pass for.
I think that's enough. That's enough.
Is that, I mean, seriously, Jim, is that their, like, for the midterms? At least she wasn't 8. Make America great again.
I know. It's
Really?
grotesque. It's grotesque. And it says to me that something's seriously wrong with Megyn. She's gone to the dark side and she's sold her soul to Donald Trump, and she doesn't know what to do with herself. You know, remember when he went after her and she was kind of held up as like, here she is over at Fox. She's actually making Trump sweat and stuff. And then she went to the dark side and did rallies for him and so on. And now she sounds worse than Caroline Levitt. It's
and Jim, people were like, "Oh, you were so brave." I'm like, "No, I'm like you, Jim. I have 0 fucks left to give. I'm like, I don't want to be on Fox News again. My goal is always to get thrown off and never get invited back."
Good.
Because
the Academy Award goes to you.
They always want you to play the game, like, you know, be the liberal punching bag, be the, you know. I'm like, no, F you.
It's pro wrestling. They want it to be kayfabe. They want it to be, you know, I'll do this and then you'll do that. And I'm so glad that you did not play that game with them, and you exposed them in a very important moment when everybody was watching and wondering, is Fox going to cover this? And you just totally punctured that. So thank you, Steph. It's great to talk to you. Thanks to all of you for watching. I don't say this enough, and I know I've gone a little over today, but it means so much that folks out there are subscribing to this show. It helps support the work that we do. So if you're watching this on Substack, on YouTube, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or somewhere else, it helps if you subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It does make a difference. It does, right there, as my executive producer Matt puts in the chyron. You know you want to. You know you want to. But it helps support the work that we do. If you're fed up with the legacy media, with the corporate media, as Stephanie Miller was saying earlier on, one way to strike back is to support independent media. And if you support this program, you are supporting independent media. My thanks to all of you for watching. Once again, still reporting from Washington, I'm Jim Acosta. Have a good evening. I'll see you next time.